WECU 1570 AM and W298BX 107.5 FM, Winterville, North Carolina. WNOS 1450 AM and W272EK 102.3 FM, licensed to New Bern, North Carolina.
Motivations with Glenn.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. As we begin today's broadcast, I would just like to mention I had another awesome radio moment today. About an hour ago, while I was at the service station, I met a lady who was originally from, I believe she said Bronx, New York, or New York City. And I gave her one of my radio show cards, and she said she would listen in. Her name was Miss Johnson. I'll just leave it like that because I forgot her first name. I think she said Veronica, but I'll just say Miss Johnson. She said she will listen in and call in today, and I hope that she does. So we're going to continue where we stopped off last week. That's with sleep. And we'll move into belching and burping, how that plays an important part of our life. Apostle Jacqueline Cullins is in her station over there in her studio. I know she's jotted some stuff down already on her sticky pads. So we'll go right to Apostle Jacqueline Cullins.
Hello to our listening, to Dr. Glenn and to our listening audience on today. We are so glad that you are tuning in. And yes, Dr. Glenn, I am over here with my sticky pads.
I know you are.
And I'm always writing down something, or I think of something that I need to not forget, and then I'll write it down, or there's one little thing that I forgot to add to the paperwork, and I'm writing it down. So I'm just making sure I'm prepared and making sure that I have enough to make sure that our broadcasts are interesting. We want them to be interesting. We're not just over here wasting time. We want you to learn something. We want you to be attracted to this particular show, and also that you can come in and have a few laughs with us.
That's right.
You will get some information, some things that you did not know. And we love to present it here on this platform. And as we have said before in the past, if you have a particular subject you would like to see us talk about or to bring, contact Dr. Glenn and hit through email, and you will be able to tell us that particular subject.
Yeah, my email address is Glenn, Glenn, Johnson Show @gmail.com. Apostle, can I mention one other thing?
Yes.
Yesterday I had a talk with the owner, Mr. Keela Thigpen, and I was just telling her name is synonymous, because if your name is synonymous, you have been known to be an integral part of the community, fellowship, or whatever. I said her name is synonymous because the work she do with Christianity, the radio station, and so on and so forth. But I just thought of something else. I was telling her how people don't pronounce words fully. They just give it short, like What I can't stand is network broadcast TV media reporters or anchors that say reported live from Washington. It's not Washington, it's Washington. They replaced the T-O-N with T-I-N or T-E-N. But one thing I was telling Miss Akila, how she pronounced the full words and stuff. One of the words I just thought about that she pronounces well is Awesome Radio Network. She said the whole word, never went on network. Or there's a one with a T in it. She says the whole entire T. That's what I like about it.
That is awesome. She does have a very great diction in how
Yes.
she pronounces things.
Net with the T. Network.
Network. I may not be so adept to pronounce that T, but she definitely is very good at articulating a lot of things. So we're going to get back to our show here. We have 3 areas today that we're going to talk about. And last week we didn't finish some things on getting good sleep. And we talked about, we were going to bring and talk a little bit about apnea and also belching. Dr. Glenn brought us something about burping and belching. And so we would need to know the difference between burping and belching.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know burping is for children, particularly newborns and young children. Belching, I think, refers to adults. And I always had a problem with that. People say, he's over there burping. I'm like, is he a little baby? No. So he's belching. But it's all the same. It's release of air and gas, particularly the gas part. Now, I'm going to say this because we're all adults. This is a professional broadcast. So the gas part, comes out 2 ends. Your rear end, passing gas, or farting, if you will. And by belching, comes out of your mouth.
Well, Dr. Glenn, I say burping too. I never say belch.
I know you do. I know you
Belch
do.
sounds a little bit more vicious.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more on the adult side.
Yeah, vicious.
But I know you like to say burp.
I do. I say it all the time.
That's
burping.
why I put the diamonds in, because I know you like to say burp.
I do. I say it all the time. And it's not so much about children. That's just the word that I use, burp. They're burping all the time and stuff. And, we'll get into it as we go down our list. And we will make sure that we get ready to close out the show with the burping and the belching and look at those 2 different. And listen, I want you to call in today and let us know, do you say burping or do you say belching? I'm going to put that out there for our audience today. You call in and tell me, do you say burping or belching? Belching, when I say it, it just sounds like a pickaxe.
Because you used to say burping all the time.
Yes. And burping just sounds more calm, more proper. So I'm going to give you our phone number and let you call in today. I mean, if you're online, just put it in our chat, and we'd love to hear from you on today. Do you say belching or do you say burping? And our phone number here in the studio is 252-756-2008. You could call in and you'll be live right on the air with myself and Dr. Glenn, and you could tell us if you say belching or burping.
But I want you to call in about 3 minutes, because we have 3 minutes to go before we go to the break. So don't call in while we're on break, because you won't be alive. So we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Apostle will take us up to the break. But if you have a comment or question, call us at 2 minutes after the break. Apostle.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you on today. I think that's an interesting question.
It is.
To see how you say it and then why you say it. I think it's not about whether it's an adult doing it or a child doing it. It's just what we're used to saying. That's what I grew up saying.
Me too. But I'm a couple of years older than you.
A few.
Yeah. But when somebody say burping, I think they refer to a child, infant. When somebody says belching, I know they're referring to an adult.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna have to think on it a little bit more and see. I think about how vicious it is. If it's loud and ugly, I'm gonna start saying belching. You sit over there belching, and then I'm gonna say if it's soft and non-threatening, Then I'm gonna
but
say burping.
but even if it's assault and non-threatening, please have your proper manners, and please don't do that in front of anybody or in somebody's face.
Oh yeah, you talking about get upset. Oh my goodness, especially when they just do it. I work with children. It's no secret.
You know why I'm saying that? Because you might have ate something, now you're belching. It might smell like you just took your shoe off.
Well, and then that's why you have to be careful. And I think we have it on the paper here. We will get into that about when you eat and what you eat. Because sometimes, like before we go on the air and stuff, I try to keep it down. Because I don't want to be, I can't eat and drink all that stuff right before I have to talk. I don't want to accidentally burp in the mic. You could do it.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Yeah, you could.
But you know me, before we go live, I used to try to like to drink a lot of water like I have sitting right next to me now. Some water and some carbonated, no sugar, Sprite in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Because that helped me out.
I can't do it. I've beaten accidentally and and then now how do you back away from it after you've done it? It's out there.
I know because some people, if they drink a carbonated drink, they will belch immediately.
I will.
You will.
It's not usually later. It's usually right at the time when I'm drinking.
Right at the time you ever drink, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why on some of the documents that we have, I explain that I like to drink carbonated drink before I go to sleep because I'll belch. Excuse me, like I just did right
See,
now.
you just did, Dr. Glenn.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Like I just did right now. But I like to do it because it helps me clear my focus and get my focus out. But there is one document we have. It says that we should avoid carbonated drinks. Apostle, go take us to the break.
Hey, we want you to come right back after this break. This is Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams right here on Awesome Radio.
Awesome Radio. Hello, my name is Tracy, and you're listening to Awesome Radio. Thank you.
Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome. It's Mother's Day Love Day for Awesome Radio at the McGregor Downs Health Center in Greenville. Thank you, everyone, for your givings to help make this community act of love possible. We will be hand delivering gift bags to each lady resident at McGregor Downs on Friday, May 8th. If you would like to join us, please let us know so we can add your name to the visitors list. Our number is 252-756-3137. Let's come together to spread Jesus' joy to the lady residents at McGregor Downs Health Center. Reach us at 252-756-3137. Awesome Radio.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Keller Pippin's mother from Awesome Radio.
Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome. Awesome. Do you feel it? Awesome. Awesome.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. I know Apostle has some documents that you want to get to. So here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Yes, and Dr. Glenn, I know there's some people laughing at me right now. I can feel it. They're laughing at me.
me too.
I know they laughing. They're going to be talking about me. But it's okay. We will live. Okay, let's look at here. I had a few things from last week that I didn't give out, and I felt like they were important to getting better sleep. And this is just 6 steps to getting better sleep. And one of them is to stick to a sleep schedule, meaning to go to bed at the same time or around the same time every night. You agree with that, Dr. Glenn?
In a way I do, but you know me, I'm going to go to sleep all kinds of ways because I'm up 3:30 in the morning, every morning.
Well, what you doing up at 2:30, Dr. Glenn? Catting around what you doing?
I'm about getting in the shower.
I mean, there's a saying that I always say to young people and to a lot of people. And I say that at a certain time, after 2, ain't nothing open except some legs. Now, what are you doing up at 2?
I'll get in the shower, get some coffee, get on the computer, do some music, videos, documents.
Okay, so you're just used to getting up at that time. There's nothing nefarious going on.
No, my body's just used to getting up at 2:30 a.m. every morning.
Well, Dr. Glenn is the exception to it, but a lot of times You know, there's nothing open out there. Hardly any stores or anything open after a certain hour. So you have to really, really.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to go nowhere, but around about 3 o'clock, 3:30, I want to make a trip to Sheets and get whatever I need to get.
Sheets is open 24 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Sheets is open. So stick to that schedule. And it says here that for an adult, an adult, at least 7 hours of sleep is needed, but no more than 8 hours at a time to be well rested. I remember hearing that for years, that it's just 8 hours of sleep that you need, but they say it's 7.
Yeah. It's
Seven
big.
is good for you.
Yeah, they usually recommend 8.
Well, you know how many of us don't get 7 or 8 hours of sleep? I mean, I'm one that don't get it all the time.
I don't get it all, in a row. In a row. I might sleep for 3, 4 hours, get up, do what I got to do, take a nap for another 3, 4 hours. The only problem with that is you don't want to do what I did. I don't think I did it in a while, but because I get up at 2:30 in the afternoon, I would take a nap. I would wake up, take all my morning meds. After I get in the shower, take all my morning meds. Then I'll get all the way to where I got to go and find out it's not the next day. It's still the same day.
Well, and that's one of the things that it says here is to limit your daytime naps, because taking a nap can interfere with your nighttime sleep.
That's right.
Limit those naps to no more than 1 hour and avoid napping late in the day.
Let me tell you something. You don't know how many times I did that. A couple of times, I had to stop and get something to eat because I had took all my insulin and everything, so my sugar was going low. I had to stop and eat. The most embarrassing one that I did, I'm a volunteer with the sheriff's office. When we were on 5th Street, I got there, I think about 9 o'clock, because me and my partner will go out on duty at 10 o'clock. So I'm there at 9 o'clock, use my car key to get in the door. I walk all the way to get in the door. Then I get back outside, I call him up. I say, "Hey, Jack, where you at? I'm at the cruiser waiting for you." He said, "Okay, I'll see you in the morning." I said, "No, I'm here right now." He said, "Glenn, it's Sunday night."
You're on the wrong day. And that's exactly what can happen too when we don't get enough rest. We can make simple mistakes that we're looking right at it and still making a mistake because our judgment is not where it should be because we're not getting enough rest.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? Doing that so many times. My children's mom, she said, "You don't look outside to see if it's daylight or dark out." I said, that thought never crossed my mind. And now I had to get me a clock that says AM and PM. So I'll know.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a plus if you're not realizing that it's AM, the difference between AM and PM. I never have that problem. Never at all. Now, in the night, like when it's 3 a.m, then I do have to look at the clock to discern because sometimes, I can think that it's still like 11 and it's actually 3 or 4 in the morning. So those are the times when I need to look at the clock. It says here to pay attention to what you eat and drink. Don't go to bed hungry or stuffed. In particular, avoid heavy and large meals within a couple of hours of bedtime. Discomfort may keep you up.
That's right, too.
It says nicotine, caffeine, and alcoholic beverages, caution too. The stimulating effect of nicotine and caffeine takes hours to wear off and can interfere with your sleep.
That's correct. But the most important thing about the eating part is that I stop eating after 6 p.m. because I noticed a couple of things. If I eat, particularly a large meal, like it said, stop eating large meals. I stop doing that. Particularly, I don't eat after 6 o'clock because I can lay down. I can feel the bloatness in my stomach.
Oh, yeah, it is a discomfort when you're overly full. And, you got that. And then that's when you'll get some of the, the burping or belching while you're laying down.
Along with acid reflux.
Oh, yeah, the acid reflux can be something. You can wake up and your whole throat is on fire.
That's
and
right.
It seems like you think something else is going on because you have such bad burning in your throat. And that definitely can be caused by eating certain foods and also eating late at night.
You know what I'm doing now? At 66 years old, I'm chewing up Tums like they're now latest.
I did used to do that. I was having acid reflux at one time, but I've learned to cut out certain things because
Yeah.
sometimes it's caused by the certain things you eat, like the tomato sauces or spaghetti sauce, those type of things, eating them late at night. And I mean, even ketchup and, things that have a little tang to it, like that vinegar and
Yeah.
things that have some of the dipping sauces.
Yeah, before our broadcast, there's a rebroadcast of Agriculture Who Knows that met me. They were talking about some of the things, but one of the things Miss Maxine White was talking about and sharing how to avoid caffeine because caffeine will dry you out. And I thought about that. I said, you know what? That's probably why I be feeling so dry sometimes because I drink a lot of coffee and a lot of stuff with caffeine, particularly tea. And she said tea, definitely try to avoid that so you won't get dry.
Well, and it is true that sometime after drinking the coffee in the morning, I can feel that. But I try to couple my day with making sure that I get my liquids in right after. Or, right in. I mean, soon after I drink that coffee, I make sure that I have my water with me or something that is, going to replace feeling that dryness.
Yeah.
Because it can be. And it's depending on how strong, too, that you make the coffee. Like me, I make it strong. So it's going to be a little dryness after.
And that's why I can't drink coffee along with food. I go to restaurants and stuff. I see all these older people eating their meal, one along with a cup of coffee. That is so nauseous to me.
Wow, I can do it sometime, but if I want to stay up, because coffee can extend and give me a little bit of energy, a little bit of a kick, and it can cause me to be awake. So I typically try not to eat it with a meal, but there have been times when I've been out to eat. I didn't have to get up the next day. I have a nice cup of coffee after the meal.
But you know what the downfall to me is? I could drink probably a whole pot of coffee, but if I'm sleeping, want to go to sleep, I'll still go to sleep. No matter if it tries to keep me awake, I'll still go to sleep.
I can too if I'm tired. It don't matter. You can put, I don't care what in it. But sometimes we don't realize too that we're addicted to the caffeine. And sometimes our body feels better when we have it versus when we don't.
You can give me a coffee IV, I'm still going to sleep.
Oh, hey, we're getting ready to go out. We have 1 minute left here, and we're going out on our break, and we're almost done with this environment, this particular document. And one of the things said, create a restful environment. So that's why I said that. But hey, when we come back from this break, and again, I'm waiting on you to call in and tell us, do you say burping or do you say belching? And let us know. Call in and let us know. We'll put you live right on the air with Dr. Glenn and myself. Hey, we haven't heard from Pepperman in a minute. I hope you have his phone number, Dr. Glenn, because if we don't hear from our favorite caller, we need to make sure everything's all right.
That's right.
Yes. So listen, join us right after this break, and we'll go into talking a little bit more about sleep apnea, because we do need to mention that as one of the things that could cause you not to get sleep, and that a lot of people need to be warned because they could have it and may not know it. Hey, this is the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams, and you're listening to us right here on Awesome Radio. We'll be back in a moment.
The 11th Annual Youth Incarceration Prevention Ministry event beginning 12 noon Saturday, June 6 at St. John Missionary Baptist Church Soul Saving Center in Stokes at 2921 Briary Swamp Road. Youth of all ages are invited to attend this totally free event. Come get motivated to not make jail time your destiny. Keynote speaker Sheriff Paula S. Dance, along with other guest speakers to include Judge Wendy S. Hazelton, Lieutenant Gary Howard, Jalen Staten, Minister Derek Clark, Mrs. Julie Bunn. There will be gift card giveaways, food trucks, global gaming truck, bouncy houses, and more. Contact Eddie 252-341-7546. Evelyn 252-253-9520. Brenda 252-717-0097. The 11th Annual Youth Incarceration Prevention Ministry event, Saturday, June 6th, beginning 12 noon at St. John Missionary Baptist Church, Soul Saving Center in Stokes. Pastor Gregory V. Black. Scholarships and recipients will be recognized at this event.
Awesome Radio.
You're listening to Awesome Radio, Christian media with the spirit of excellence.
Awesome Radio. Yeah. awesome. Can you feel it? Awesome, awesome.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Awesome Radio, 106, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. We are down to our final 30 minutes of the broadcast. So, Apostle would now like to go over the document, sleep apnea. Then we'll get into belching and burping, and we'll stay waiting for a caller to call in to answer the question. Do you say burping or do you say belching? We'll wait for a caller to call in. The phone number to call, 252-756-2008. Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Yes, there's one last thing, Dr. Glenn, I wanted to say about sleep. It said to manage your worries. Don't go to sleep worried about things. Get that taken care of. And it's called stress. If you're stressed out, it's harder for you to sleep. You need to get rid of those worries. And listen, you can always pray and cast your cares upon the Lord. And, sometimes you don't have anybody to talk to, but you can talk to the Lord and you can send that right on over to him. Let him handle it.
Like you said, if you're worried or stressed, you want to try to avoid having a stroke. Those two things will definitely lead to a stroke. And to avoid possibly having a stroke, it's recommended that you have your nightstand, a nice glass of liquid to drink prior to going to sleep that could possibly eliminate having a stroke.
Definitely. I remember that, Dr. Glenn, and I remember making sure I love the fact that I can pin it with taking medicines. If you take certain medications that you have to take at night, then you'll have the liquids, because you have to take the medicine at the same time. So it's good to have some bedtime medicine that you have to drink water with. And I did adapt that to getting some liquids in before bed.
And I remember that. It's because when we did the document showing that, I was talking about, does that mean liquor or alcoholic beverage? Of course, the answer is no. But, I was just joking around. But have some liquid, particularly, or preferably water or something of that nature.
Well, I hear the phone ring, and I thought we had a caller that was going to talk to us about belching and burping, but maybe they're calling for us, and they're on the studio line over there. But if you want to call and reach us, the number is 252-756-2008. Calling, you could be live on the air with Dr. Glenn and myself. Now, I want to tell you that there are 3 types of sleep apnea, and I did not know this. And one of them is called, the 3 of them, one is obstructive sleep apnea, one is central sleep apnea, and there's one more. Obstructive and central.
Yeah.
Those are the 2. I'm sorry, I said 3. There's only 2. The obstructive sleep apnea is known as OSA. This is the more common form of sleep apnea, and it occurs when your throat narrowing blocks the flow of air into your lungs. So a lot of people, when they're laying on their back or their side or whatever, there's something in their throat that just obstructs the air from getting down, and it causes them to have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Sleep apnea can be very dangerous. There are people that could die, suddenly in their sleep. You remember back in time, sometime we used to see people, they just died in their sleep and nobody knew what happened. But it could be sleep apnea is one of those things that can also cause you to die in your sleep.
That's why it's recommended to get evaluated by a physician, and possibly you might need a CPAP machine. That's one of the things that Ms. White was talking about on the previous show before ours, on the Agriculture U, Was That Matter to Me? Ms. Maxine White was talking about how she went to the doctor, got evaluated, and she had to use a CPAP. It cleared up everything tremendously.
Yes, and let me tell you, especially when you gain weight gain can start sleep apnea. It can cause you to have sleep apnea by weight gain. There's some people that they gain weight or they lost the weight and then they no longer had apnea because, that heaviness, or I don't know if the fat's in the throat or what, but maybe around the throat. And, after losing the weight, they no longer have apnea.
I had to go get evaluated for sleep apnea, so I had the sleep study test. And the reason why I went, I have the Nest camera system in my house, so it's correlated with my phone. So I get a message on my phone. Activity, there's some strange noise detected in your studio. No, in my office at my house. So I get up, go to my computer, open up the next software to find out what the noise was. It was me laying on the sofa, snoring like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my goodness.
I immediately went for a sleep study.
Well, snoring is one of the signs that you can have sleep apnea, but I also want to say that everyone that snores doesn't have sleep apnea. You can snore and still not have sleep apnea.
Yeah, because our sleep apnea was ruled out in my favor.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that do have it. Now, the central apnea is also known as CSA. This type of sleep apnea occurs when the brain doesn't send proper signals to the muscles that manage breathing. So it could not be obstruction in your throat, but it's a problem with your brain not sending the signal telling you to breathe. Sometimes that's when they say, that the person is not protecting their airway. They're not breathing. Something in the brain is not telling the muscles of the throat to breathe or the body to breathe.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to end up being a victim of that. It says symptoms here: loud snoring, episodes of which breathing stops during sleep, which should be reported by another person, gasping for air during sleep. That's a big one. Awakening with dry mouth. That means you had that mouth open and you were trying to breathe through that mouth the whole time.
Yeah.
Morning headaches. You wake up with a very bad headache, and that's because you're not getting enough oxygen while you're sleeping. Trouble staying awake, known as insomnia. Trouble staying asleep, known as insomnia.
Yeah.
So when you have the apnea, it's going to wake you up a lot because your body sometimes will signal itself that, your airway is cut off, and you won't just lay there and die or suffocate. You'll wake up, and your body may jerk, to wake you up. Also, excessive daytime sleepiness, known as hypersomnia. So if you have apnea, one of the signs is that you may be uncontrollably sleepy in the daytime because of the fact that your body keeps jerking awake at night trying to breathe. Trouble paying attention while awake, and irritability. There's a lot of things that you could be irritable about.
A lot.
And a lot of things so don't think just because you're irritable, you could just be irritable. And trouble paying attention, that could be a lot of things too. It's not always a sign, exclusively for apnea. Dr. Glenn?
That irritation, what you say, irritation?
Mm-hmm. Irritability.
Yeah, irritability. I think I might have a case of that because of my youngest granddaughter. When she comes over, I know I'm irritable.
Well, that's
No, I'm
because
just joking.
some of it is age.
I'm just joking.
Old people can start getting very cranky, and a lot of old people are cranky, not just with young people, but with everybody.
I only said that just so you can say what you just said.
I was gonna jump on that one.
Yeah, I was just joking though. But I'm glad
some
you
of
said.
some of them, they irritate me when they're driving.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said what you said.
Some of them, driving poorly, and I'm thinking they need to pull their license. They need to be off this road.
I think they should have a refresher course for a certain age group.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, sitting there at the light and taking them forever to get going, I got to blow the horn at you because you look like you're taking a nap instead of going through the light. Come on. You might need to consider getting someone else to drive for you. Doing dangerous things. Sometimes just cutting over in front of people.
Yeah.
And ain't putting no kind of signal on.
None.
Yeah, it could be bad, Dr. Glenn. Hey, we're getting ready to go out on one more break. And when you come back, we're going to talk about belching and burping. And we're still waiting on someone to call in and tell us if they say belching or if they say burping. Dr. Glenn?
And I'm still waiting for Miss Johnson, who I met at Sheets, to call in as well. She said she would call. I'm pretty sure she would if she's listening. So please call her, Miss Johnson. Apostle will take us out to the break.
Hey, You're listening to, we want you to come right back after this break because you're listening right here to the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. And we'd love for you to return with us to hear the conclusion and learn some things about the difference between burping and belching. You are listening to us right here on Awesome Radio, and we're going to be right back in a moment. We will be right back.
Health Pro is a licensed home care organization and a trusted provider of in-home care services with skilled nursing and personal care services. When your elderly parents live alone, there are many things that can be done to make general housekeeping and personal care easier. We are located at 408 West Arlington Boulevard, Suite 101C, Greenville. At Health Pro, our services provide a relief for the aging and the disabled population who prefer to recover in the comfort of their homes. Our services expand beyond the normal, and we are currently serving 17 counties in eastern North Carolina. Veteran personal care services, companion care, sitter care, respite care, private pay home care, pediatric, adolescent personal care services are just a few of the many services we offer. Health Pro, a local, trusted, leading provider of in-home care services. 252-364-8114. That's 252-364-8114.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Awesome Radio, the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Here on Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU, Winterville, Greenville, North Carolina. Apostle will now take us out to discuss belching and burping. But I want to advise Apostle that I have a couple of audio tracks on that, at least 3 of them that's 1 minute and a couple of seconds. So Apostle will cue me when to play the audio. Apostle.
Yeah, so belching and burping. And as Dr. Glenn said, the references here on the paper, when it talks about burping, it's talking about a baby.
I thought so.
And when it's talking about belching, it's talking about adults getting rid of excess gas.
Yeah.
And so I still say burping for both. You burped, or, I rarely say belched. But I guess I'm going to have to start using it in its, correct context. So burping, we see burping for babies and for infants. Infants would be 1 year old and under.
Yeah.
And so it asks here, is your baby having difficulty burping? And, many of us have held a baby. We've taken care of our own children and grandchildren, and we had to burp them. That's one of the things, is that it's a release of gas from their digestive tract through the mouth. Some babies need extra help releasing the air in their stomach when they are in pain or spitting up questions arise. So it says here, you should know at what age should you stop burping your baby. What age did you stop burping the baby? Do you guys remember? Any of our audience wants to chime in and tell us, what age did you stop burping the baby?
I think this probably about 1 in a couple of months.
No, 1 is big people.
Those
are big people.
You're talking about an infant or newborn?
Infant, yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going no more than 8 months.
Yeah, I was about to say 9.
Yeah, 8 months, 9 months, they could pretty much do it themselves. I've seen some little people walking at 9 months, so
Really?
they definitely can burp if they're walking.
Really?
Yes. So I would say, at the latest, like 8 months. But, in truth, looking back at my infants, I think all of them were done with that probably around 5 or 6 months. As soon as they could start getting and started eating food and, trying to eat a little bit of table food and begging for things from our plate, they were no longer burping.
Well, what about the crying factor when they don't know what exactly going on?
Crying factor when they don't know what's going on. And sometimes that can be, colicky baby or stomach problem with a baby. When they're crying like that, those little, smaller infants, they experience it. My grandmother used to call it the wind colic. And so one of the things that they would do was make sure those babies' heads were covered up when they went outside. They didn't let the wind hit the baby in the face because that's one of the things that they felt would bother the baby's stomach and give them the colic. And then the baby staying up at night, and when it should be sleeping in the daytime and staying up at night, crying all night long.
Yeah.
So it can be very difficult, with a new baby and they get that colic. But my grandmother used to call it the wind colic. So we protected our babies. We kept their heads covered. We didn't let the wind get in their face.
Because I know a baby will cry basically to get the adults' attention because they don't know what else to do.
But when they're colicky, they're going to stay up at night. And I was sharing this with a parent that has just had a baby, where I work. And when we were growing up, they had a thing called Dewey's, and you could go to the pharmacy and buy it. And it was for the newborn babies. Now, I had a real stink smell. It was kind of brown looking, but you had to go behind the counter to get it. And I looked to see if Dewey's is still around, and it is. But now I don't know where to buy it. But you would give it to the baby at night, and it would help the baby sleep.
And when you say you had to go behind the counter to get it, do you reply that you need a prescription?
No, you did not need a prescription, but you needed to tell them, I have a baby that's not sleeping, and they would give them that, give you some of it there. And it didn't have to have a prescription, but it was behind the counter. So, I don't know how things are. Things have changed. You know what I mean? I could see that may have even had a little bit of something in it that made the baby sleep.
Yeah, because there was a lot of things that required a prescription.
Yeah, but you don't have it. You did.
But now there's a lot of things that don't require a prescription. Is OTR, over the counter.
Yes, and that was like almost 40 years ago. You see what I'm saying? 30-something years ago.
Not OTR, OTC, over the counter.
Right, but it still wasn't out where everybody could get it, and you had to tell them that you had a baby, and then they would give it to you. Now, I know one thing that had a strong smell, and the babies hated it. Talking about holding their breath and trying not to take it.
Yeah.
Little baby fighting you and moving their head, trying not to get that in their mouth.
Like, for instance, I know for a fact there's a prescription that used to be required for Pataday for your eye drops. It was an eye drop for your eyes. Now you can buy it over the counter without a prescription.
Well, Dr. Glenn, think about this. Remember back in slavery, people would run and they had babies. They'd run away. How did they keep those babies quiet? And they're out on the trail running with a new baby and keeping those babies from crying. How do you think that happened?
They didn't need belching or burping.
Yes, they did.
They didn't need burping.
Yes, they did. They would do what they call smoke the babies to sleep. And I know this is not recommended today, and it's not a tip for anybody to use, but they would blow cigarette smoke in the baby's face. If you blew cigarette or from a pipe smoke in the baby's face, it'll knock them out.
Had a pipe smoke and knocked me out too.
But it's probably, getting the carbon monoxide blowing into their face that causes them to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, please don't do this to any baby or any child.
Yeah, so don't do it. But they used to do it, and the kids lived. They went right on. So that's an old thing, from back in the country that we knew about it. You could smoke the baby to sleep.
Like Apostle just said, that was from something back in the old days in the country. So please don't blow any smoke in any child's face.
Right. But some of these, parents smoke around the baby. The baby already know how to smoke.
We have 2.5 minutes to go. Then we'll go to our final 10 minutes. So I'm going to let Apostle take us out to break 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll definitely get into belching.
So they talked about what could cause foul-smelling burps and gases. It's talking about children, and I looked it up with adults too, because you can have that sulfur smell with your burps. But it says here it could be caused by an infection or malabsorption. The type of food and drink digested determines the smell of the burp. The doctor may require a simple stool test to test if symptoms persist. So if they got those bad smelling burps, they may test them to see what it is or what's going on.
And did you say a simple stool test?
Sample, yes. They will do a simple stool test if the symptoms persist.
So that's actually the other end and not your mouth.
Right.
That's why I said earlier. That's why I said earlier. It's a combination of your mouth and your rear end.
And it can. Gas sometimes does not go down that way. Sometimes it can come up through your mouth.
Yeah.
And it can smell just like, it came out the other end.
Yeah.
It could be bad. And that's something, if you have that, you have to be very careful.
And I think that is bad when it doesn't come out your rear end, it comes out your mouth. To me, that is a bad situation.
Yes. And so it talks about hiccups and different things here. And when we come back from our break here, we're definitely going to talk about adults belching versus burping. Now you got me with the B's and tie tongue, Dr. Glenn. Burping and belching. And so we're going to look just a little bit at that. It could be acid reflux. It could be GERD. It could be carbonated drinks. There's a lot that could be happening to cause you to belch or to burp.
And two things you just mentioned, I know for a fact that's in my medical records when I got discharged from the medical center in 2013, GERD and acid reflux, both of those.
Definitely. And GERD is a condition where people are having that. It's almost like acid reflux, but I think it's more of a consistent and it's a harder way. Whereas acid reflux may be happening when you're laying down at night, and GERD can happen at any time.
Yeah, like I said, I have history of both of those.
Yeah. So, hey, we're waiting on those callers to call in and tell us if you say burping or if you say belching. And we have just one more segment left. We're getting ready to go out on this break. We want you to come right back here. This is Awesome Radio, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Right back.
Hello, my name is Daniel out of Greenville. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Yes, awesome. Do you feel it? Awesome.
Hello, this is Akila speaking here from the Awesome Radio Network. We are your vehicle to help drive the gospel of Jesus throughout all the world and to every creature. If God has placed radio ministry on your heart, we'd love to connect with you. Our number is 252-756-3137. That's 252-756-3137. We are Awesome Radio. We're growing. Thank you for growing with us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. We have reached our final 10 minutes of today's broadcast. Apostle now like to go to burping versus belching for our adults. Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams.
Hey, Dr. Glenn, I need to mention this supragastric burping. Supragastric burping occurs when air is sucked into the esophagus and immediately expelled. And it's often linked to stress or anxiety. I'm glad I don't have that, and I don't know anybody that does, that when you're stressed or you're having a little bit of anxiety or nervousness, you start burping. I wouldn't want it. That's a bad one there. What do you think about that, Dr. Glenn?
I think that's bad.
And it said to avoid carbonated drinks and beer, avoid chewing gum or sucking on hard candies. Do not smoke. Now, what's wrong with chewing gum and hard candy?
I want to know about the carbonated drink because I drink a lot of carbonated beverages.
It said avoid carbonated drinks and beer. This is talking about with the burping. So we're going to look at the adults. Now, that's the burping. That's the children. Let's look over to the adults. And it said belching or passing gas is called flatus. It's natural and common. Excessive belching or flatus along with bloating, pain or swelling in the belly can sometimes interfere with daily activities and cause embarrassment. It is embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
When you burp out. I don't know how everybody else is. I got to say this about myself, Dr. Glenn. But I rarely, you got to catch me off guard. The burp I have to not know the burp is coming. I don't burp out loud like that. I don't. I just don't. I'll hold it in. If I feel it, I'll just let it slide out like a little bit of air. Do you? I don't know if you guys hold your burps in, but I do. If I feel it there, it's inside. It's never, and out. I just don't do it.
Yeah, I'll hold it in until I get away from people.
Yeah, I can't do it. It'll come out as, a little wisp of air. It's just never that big bullfrog sound or anything like that, unless it catches me by surprise.
Now, for the adults, does it mention that it's a combination of air or gas or both?
It says belching is commonly known as burping, is the body's way of pushing out excess air from the upper digestive tract. Most belching is caused by swallowing excess air. So I'm thinking that that also deals with when you're drinking those sodas. You know, you're breathing in between and gulping in air as you're drinking the soda, and that's what's causing some of it, along with the carbonation,
Right.
is bringing in excess air. And while you're eating in between bites, you're putting
Yeah.
air down there. So that may be, what's causing the belching. Belching also may be related to inflammation of the stomach lining or to an infection. And I can't even see that word. I'm not even going to try to say whatever that is. And it says it could, some stomach ulcers. In these cases, the belching is accompanied by other symptoms such as heartburn or stomach pain. So those are symptoms that something else is wrong: heartburn and stomach pain with the burping.
And when you said, what did you say a minute ago? Something you said, I said, I agree with that, but I can't think what you just said. You had mentioned something else. And I think it's a very important topic. Anyway, so if anybody should like to receive copies of the documents that we have, please don't hesitate to email me at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com.
It said most air does not even reach the stomach. Instead, it builds up in the esophagus. So most of the belching comes from the esophagus, with something different, it said, when it comes from your stomach. Dr. Glenn?
And that's what I was going to say, that I think we're eating, I think a lot of things, do come from air related issues when you're eating. Not so much as drinking carbonated drinks.
Yeah.
It's just the air factor.
It said, don't drink carbonated drinks and beer. They release carbon dioxide gas. So that's what it is. It's releasing that gas in your stomach. Now, why did you tell me you had to drink those carbonated drinks?
Cause I like the belching when I drink a carbonated. If I lay down, particularly if I lay down on my stomach, more left to the left, I'll just bring it all down, like gas and air right up.
Okay. Well,
But maybe it's just the carbonation.
and sometimes just drinking with it don't have to be carbonation, but just wetting the food down with something to drink while we're eating causes us to release that gas.
That's right, because it was doctor recommended. When I saw one of my doctors, you should always drink while eating. Every couple of bites, drink something to wash it all down.
Yeah, it aids with digestion. Eat and drink slowly. It says take your time. It can help you swallow less air, taking your time. Try to make meals relax. And the truth is a lot of time we ready to be done. We eating that food so fast, we're just done. And we're over with it. We don't think about the fact that we could be causing ourselves to have a lot of air going in. It says skip the gum and hard candy. When you chew gum or suck on hard candy, you swallow more often than normal. Part of what you're swallowing is air. So that could cause you to burp by chewing gum and hard candy. I don't even like saying that one because we grew up eating gum and candy. Hey, Dr. Glenn has one of our audios and he's going to play it for us quickly.
Let me play one of them just 1 minute.
Belching is the body's way of releasing gas in the digestive tract through the mouth. It is commonly known as burping. A distinctive smell and sound may also accompany this process. Belching is a natural phenomenon which reduces discomfort in the abdomen. Sometimes, belching becomes more of a habit rather than a necessity. When one eats or drinks too fast, a lot of air gets swallowed in the process, causing one to belch. Indigestion also leads to belching. Carbonated drinks like soft drinks, champagne and beer also cause accumulation of gas in the digestive tract. Let's look at some simple home remedies to get relief from this condition. Take 1 glass of water, add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, mix it well. Drink this before every meal.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I cut that short because we have 2 minutes remaining for the broadcast. I'm going to give those 2 minutes to Apostle, but one thing she was saying is a home remedy, but I'm not going to repeat it. If you like this information, please email me, Glenn, Glenn, Johnson Show at gmail.com. That's all together. Glenn Johnson Show at gmail.com. Here's Apostle Jacqueline Cullins for the remaining 2 minutes.
Yes, and Dr. Glenn, she talked about some apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Now, who finna drink that before you eat your food? That is ridiculous. I'm not. And, some of them, certain brands, that stuff could be so strong, it will tear your stomach lining up.
But I think that's why she said mix it with the honey or lemon, honey and lemon.
Well, I'm sorry. It still can be rough, diluting it and getting those things in. And that's the stuff that sometimes can cause you to have acid reflux. Or you're trading burping or belching for acid reflux. Hey, we have gotten down to the last minute here, and I wanted to say one more thing before we leave. It said that check your dentures, because loose dentures can cause more air to go into your stomach and cause belching or burping.
Is that right?
Yes, loose dentures.
Your dentures.
Your dentures, if they're not on tight and they're poorly fitted, it said it could cause more air to go in and cause you to do more belching. So check those dentures, get that poly grip on there, and get those things well fitted. Hey, we have come down to our last minute here, and we're thankful that you watched with us. We know you heard some things that you could use here and some things that'll be beneficial to your life to help you cut down the burping, or at least you'll know what's causing it. And so we're going to ask that you would come right back here next week. We're going to have some more good topics and some more good subjects, and we want to see you next week right here on the Glenn Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Cullins Williams. Dr. Glenn?
May the Lord take a liking to you all. May the Lord continue to bless you in the name of Jesus, our Savior, our Lord and Savior. And to Father God, I want to thank you for the life you have given me. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And as Apostle said, please join us next week for another interesting topic here on the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn. See you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.
Awesome radio. Yes, awesome, awesome. Can you hear it? Awesome, awesome radio.
It's Mother's Day Love Day for Awesome Radio at the McGregor Downs Health Center, Greenville.